This is my long-suffering Maidenhair Fern. I think all Maidenhair Ferns are long-suffering. This one's been through about 10 regenerations, I'm sure, by this point. And now it's time for another one. Just giving it water here before I have to split it in two and then repot it. Here's the other reason for repotting. My beautiful outer pot hanging basket is now rusted to the point where water pours straight through the bottom. Now completely gone. Time for some fresh pots. So these are just standard ceramic outer pots and fresh inner pots. So now I can water, and the water will catch in the bottom, which is very important for Maidenhair Ferns because they do not like to dry out. Just performing a quick magic trick here. For some reason, the pots have totally confused me. Here we go. So it looks okay on camera, but it's actually quite a spindly specimen. There's water dripping from the bottom here. There's a very good reason for that. They really, really hate to dry out, and it was a little bit dry before I started messing about with it. So I thought I'll give it a good soaking, because these roots are going to be exposed while I'm doing the repot. So I'm about to reach for my bread knife to split the plant in half. The first thing to do is to select how I'm going to split the fronds. It's not a very even frond mass in the centre, so I'm going to end up with one slightly better quality plant and another sort of weedy plant. But it's the only way I can split the root ball and have the root ball roughly cut in two. So it just seems to naturally go in this direction. Reach my trusty bread knife, and a little bit of wobbling on top because the fronds are actually quite stiff at the base. I'm going to cut straight through it. You have to be quite rough at this stage. Normally, I wouldn't even breathe on a Maidenhair Fern because they do like to drop their leaves, and their favourite thing to do in the entire world is to die. But that's another really good reason for splitting it in two. I live on the Isles of Scilly, and it can be really hard to get replacement plants here. If you leave this thing to dry out even for just a day, it can almost completely die in that time. And I always feel a bit nervous if I've only got one in the house. So by cutting it in two, and with a bit of TLC and a few weeks, we should have two healthy-ish specimens by that point, and I can breathe a little bit more easily. So I'm just loosening some of this old soil. It's not great quality. It's quite a peaty soil, I think, and it's the sort of soil that gets a lot of flies, that kind of thing. So time for some alternative. Now I do need to put it in another organic soil because they like quite a wet soil mass. So the alternative I've got is mainly a cocoa coir soil. So just rub it all away with a chopstick. Try and keep some of the root mass there though. There's one done. And there's the other one. Right. So I'm just going to fill the base of this pot with a little bit of soil. The root ball's fairly deep, so I can't get much on the bottom, but that doesn't really matter for these. The fern roots spread really, really evenly through a pot, so they'll spread horizontally. They won't just go straight to the bottom, so we'll be able to use all of that pot volume. So just pop it in. get it comfortable and set up, and then I'll fill the pot with the rest of the soil. So that's one done. Now time for the other one. Just pop this one out of the way. And as you'll see in a second, this is a very spindly little specimen. Now, maybe it'll die, but my experience is they're pretty hardy. They do come back as long as they don't dry out. You can mess around with them and repot them and split them, and they will survive. The issue here is I want to keep a little bit of the leaf mass on it, because the only way of making energy is by photosynthesizing. So I don't want to cut off all those leaves, and I'm a little bit worried about the condition of this plant. But you can, in theory, if you're not happy with the look of it, just cut all of the fronds off, and it will grow back from the base, and it'll look, after a few months, it'll look lush and green if you've looked after it properly. So I hold out a bit of hope for this one. As you can see, we're just about done here. If you've watched this far in the video, I would really appreciate it if you could like the video and subscribe. It's my first one, and I want to make quite a few more of these. So you can encourage me to do so by telling me you like the video and commenting below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and your experiences of growing Maidenhair Fern. I'd also love you to tell me where I'm going wrong as well, because ferns are not something I grow naturally, and I'm always after any advice that you might have. So let me know your experiences. Just tapping the pot there. I always do that just to get rid of all the air holes. But as you can see, both plants done. Safely in their pots. Hooray! Let's quick look around. You can see a little bit of growth at the bottom of the spindly plant, and the larger plant looks reasonably good. That will fill out fairly quickly. Not too bad. They're very pretty plants. I really do love Maidenhair Fern. And here they are back in their home. I'll do an update in a few weeks just to let you know how they've been getting on. Hopefully they'll be lush and large, and I'll feel safe again having two healthy Maidenhair Fern.